future of Pokemon is still kind of unknown. So we know Legends ZA is coming out very, very soon. The Pokemon Day, Pokemon Presents is coming out in literally about a week. February 27th is when that is happening, which I'm going to be live streaming the whole thing. So if you want to come join me and hang out with everybody in the chat, stop by February 27th when the Pokemon Day, Pokemon Presents is happening. I will be there. And we know that Legends ZA is going to be open world. People like the open world games, but they also like the OG games, like the OG style kind of linear playthrough where you're going from town to town through the different routes, you know, like the over the head kind of POV. Even X and Y is kind of like the OG style, just with the 3D animations, which is pretty cool. Or, you know, like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, or some of the OG games like Red and Blue. So that begs the question, will every single Pokemon game in the future be an open world game? That's a pretty tricky question, and I'm pretty sure there was some tweet or some interview. I can't find it. I've talked about this a couple times on the channel. I can't find this anywhere on the internet. I don't know why, but I know I saw it. And it was basically somebody high up at the Pokemon company saying that they've always wanted the games to be open world, and now they finally have the technology to do it. So that makes me think that Pokemon games are going to be open world for the most part. And right before we get to the rest of the video, guys, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to help me hit my goal of 16,000 subscribers before the end of the month. And you can also join the channel as a member if you want to further support the channel. And thank you to all of my current members. It really helps so much, and I really appreciate you. All right, back to the video. And the reason I say for the most part is because we're still going to get remakes, but that is also tricky. So the next game in line for remakes is Black and White, which is Generation 5, and we don't know when those are going to come out necessarily. Definitely not anytime soon. I'd say probably within the next, like, 4 years max. Probably we'd get them. And then after that would be Black and White 2, which I'm really curious to see how they're going to pull off the remakes with Black and White 2, because will they just give us a singular game that has Black and White and the Black and White 2 remakes, or are they going to just combine it all into like one big game? Or are they going to do Black and White remakes and then a couple of years later do Black and White 2 remakes and then go, you know, down the line and do X and Y and then Sun and Moon, and then Ultra Sun and Moon is kind of in the same boat as Black and White 2. It's pretty interesting stuff though. I would say for now, all of the brand new mainline Pokemon games are going to be open world. I think it just makes sense. I don't think that they're going to give us another kind of like linear playthrough style Pokemon game. Now, Sword and Shield was kind of interesting because it actually had a lot of elements of like the original kind of linear play style, but it also had elements of open world, which was pretty interesting. So I guess they could do something like that again. I think that's definitely possible, but I think that's the closest we'd ever get to another Pokemon game being like the original games, like the OG Pokemon games. And let me go back to the remake stuff now. So the Pokemon remakes are not going to be open world, right? Black and White remakes are not going to be open world. Now there are Black and White 2 remakes, or X and Y, or Sun and Moon, or Ultra Sun and Moon, or whatever. So that's going to be interesting though to see how the remakes of like the 3D Pokemon games are, like X and Y and Sun and Moon. Those are so far away though, like in the future. Like we're not going to get an X and Y remake for a long, long time. Sun and Moon remakes are still so far away. Remakes don't happen that often. It's like it's every like 5-6 years or so, give or take a year or two. And we're still not really that close to the Black and White remakes either. So Black and White remakes are not going to be open world. Let me just clarify that. Remakes are not going to be open world, and when we get to the point where the open world games could possibly get remakes, I have no idea. Like Scarlet and Violet, I have no idea. How are those remakes even going to happen? Are they even going to do remakes for Scarlet and Violet? I don't even know. I have a theory of a video that I've had for so many months now, but I just haven't ever made it because I feel like it's just never been relevant. But I'm going to save the idea. I'm going to hold off on the idea for now because I will make this video in the future. But as far as like brand new titles, like Generation 10 is going to be open world. Pokemon Legends ZA is going to be open world. I'd say probably every single Legends game in the future will be an open world game, which I think would make more sense than a new generation game being open world, because the first Legends game, Legends Arceus, was open world. So I think everything to come after that is going to follow that being open world. I really loved Legends Arceus. If you've never played Legends Arceus, I recommend playing it. And that's part of the reason why I'm so hyped for Legends ZA. Legends ZA just sounds super cool. Legends ZA is going to be open world as well, but it's going to be a little different because this game is taking place in Lumio City, and only the city. According to the trailer and their website, it doesn't seem like we're going to be able to go outside of the map at all, or very much. I mean, I could see it happening a little bit, but not that much. It's like all the future Pokemon Legends games are gonna have like a really cool like twist to it. Like Legends Arceus took place in the ancient Sinnoh region, right? That was really cool. I really thought that game was so cool. Like I said, I recommend playing it if you haven't. And Legends ZA gonna take place in Lumio City. So what's the next Legends game? I don't know, but whatever it is, it's going to be open world. My theory is probably a Generation 2 based or Johto region based Legends game. I think that would make sense. We haven't gone back to the Johto region in so long, and it would be an open world game. It would be a cool way to have us go back to the Johto region in an open world playthrough style, which I would love. I think that'd be so cool, and I think it would be awesome to have a Legends game with the entire map of a Pokemon game like Johto region or the Kanto region or something, an entire open world map that we can explore where the map is still the same, like all the towns and routes are like the exact same place. It just looks different in the open world sense. I am actually a fan of the open world stuff. Like, I really enjoy the OG Pokemon games. I'm currently playing through Pokemon Black and White 2, which is a great game. I'm about halfway done, I think, with like the main, the main story. I think I just beat the 4th or 5th gym. I can't remember, but I'm making my way through that game, and I really am excited to beat it and just see what happens in the storyline. I'm really hyped to finish that game. But anyways, I really like the OG games, but I also really like the open world newer games, right? Scarlet and Violet obviously had so many bugs and glitches, but the open world was awesome. That map was really big. The map of Scarlet and Violet was huge. And when I originally played through that game, I didn't even think the map was that big. I was like, the map could be bigger, but I've been playing through a little bit on some live streams here and there recently, and I'm like, dang, this map is pretty big. But the issue with that is, it's like, it was on the Switch, and the graphics really suffered from that. The performance really suffered, which, you could argue Breath of the Wild. Yeah, I know. We've all had that discussion before. But I am hoping that the future Pokemon games that are open world are going to be better performing games. Like, I want a Pokemon game with an open world style that has a really neat and cool art style with cool graphics, good performance. I think that they have ways to go to master the open world Pokemon games. I'm just excited to see how Legends Z is going to look, graphics and performance wise, because it's open world and it's on the Switch. It's probably going to have a Switch 2 version too. That's my theory. Soon I'm going to make a video about my Pokemon Day Presents predictions, and then as well as like my predictions of what's going to be in the trailer. I'm thinking about dropping one of those videos maybe this Saturday or Sunday, or maybe I could do it back to back, Saturday and Sunday. Maybe I'll even do that, because that sounds like a pretty good idea to me, because the Pokemon Presents is literally about a week away. So it's approaching us quickly, and we're going to see how this open world game looks. One of the biggest questions throughout the entire community is like, are these games going to be all open world? It's such a divided conversation. So many people love the OG, linear graphic style, and the other half likes the 3D open world gameplay. I like both. I would love if we could get both. I think if Game Freak and Nintendo released a Pokemon game that was like a new generation that was literally like the OG style, like a linear style, but with like newer graphics, I think it would do really well. Because Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, I think the graphics looked good. I'm a fan of the graphics, of how Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl looked. So if they could do something like that, but with a really cool and unique brand new storyline, I think that game would actually succeed and do really well. And as well as that, I think if they had an open world game that really performed well and really looked good, it's obviously going to get some good reviews and a lot of sales. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet have sold so many copies, and they're some of the most popular Pokemon games ever made, which is crazy. I've personally put, I think, the most hours into Scarlet and Violet than I have any other Pokemon game, which is insane to say, because they're not my favorite games, but they were super fun games to play. But anyways, if you're a real one watching this far in the video, comment down below, egg, just so I know you're watching this far. And comment down below, do you prefer the open world style or like the original playthrough style where it's, linear, where you go from town to town and, through different routes and stuff like that? I think both are great. They both have their pros and cons, but I think for the future overall, I would say most Pokemon games, aside from the remakes, are going to be open world. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the post notifications so you don't miss a video. And make sure to join me on my live stream for the Pokemon Day Pokemon Presents coming soon. Alright, peace.